Hi, it's Let's Talk Racing.
Hello? What do you want to talk about?
Football!
We're going to talk about football.
Hockey!
Yeah, football and
There isn't
hockey.
any.
That's what this show's about. Yeah, no. So how are you doing, JJ?
Holy cow, it's like I called into a party line.
That's about what it is here.
That's what it is. It's always a party.
You'll have to check it out later on YouTube and see what all you missed.
There you go. I'm doing fantastic. Just enjoying life here in Charlotte. It's cold here. Of course, I think it's colder somewhere else, so we don't have it too bad.
Yeah, it's cold pretty much everywhere right around this time.
Yeah, we just had the warmest year last year. What's it going to be this year? Is it going to be the coldest year?
Who knows? It's Virginia. Weather changes like every 5 minutes here. You know that.
Yeah. It's like sponsors on race cars. Right, JJ?
Well, we're not worried about weather. We're just worried about going racing.
There you go.
That sounds great. Now, for people since you're people who are new to the show, JJ, why don't you tell some people about yourself and your racing and what all you've done and some future plans that you have?
Wow. Well, I'm a Libra. I enjoy.
All right.
No one's ever said that before. You're the first to do that. That's great.
I've raced pretty much. I mean, I'm 36 now, getting up there in age. But I mean, I've raced pretty much anything and everything that's been around. I've been in the Indianapolis 500. I was the youngest starting rookie ever for a while. Anyway, that some other punk kid came out there that was younger than me. But that was 1998, which seems like an eternity ago.
That's awesome.
By 13th, finished ninth. I'm a 5-time USAC champion, which is midgets or sprint cars, the Silver Crown. One of 5 to win the Triple Crown, which is all 3 divisions in 1 year. Me and Tony Stewart are the only 2 to do it in 1 season, and this is always where I rub it into Tony because we're good friends. But when I did it, obviously, actually, when I did, I was driving a sprint car team that I started for him. But I won 24 races, which had actually broken a record set by A.J. Foyt at 19 single season wins in USAC. And, I think Tony had only won like 15. So I was, I rubbed that in. Of course, he comes up with his multiple Sprint Cup championships, his IRL championships. The Nita starts throwing, baggage at you. But, I'm a racer. I love racing anything. I mean, last year, midgets, I run some sprint cars, even though, going and doing the Sprint Cup schedule pretty much eliminates doing too much extracurricular activity racing.
Yeah. We do have a question from a fan that Roger just put up. They want us to ask if you're going to run at Eldora.
For the inaugural truck race or just in general?
Yes, the truck race, of course.
I think it would be a lot of fun. I do have some questions about, what they're going to do as far as the trucks, if they're going to make everyone keep to, more of the truck conventional suspension, or, if you're going to get some guys that are going to build some pretty elaborate trucks that are going to more resemble, like a dirt late model with suspension. So,
well, Jack will help you
I
with
would love
that.
the opportunity. I've raced plenty enough different types of race cars at Eldora. It's a super fun racetrack. I think you're going to see a pretty diverse group of drivers show up for that inaugural race. And I watched the YouTube clip.
Everybody has.
Run, and just seeing the difference between Tony run and even I don't know which one of the Dillon kids it was. It might have been Ty.
It's Ty.
But I mean, there was a pretty significant difference. So when you take a guy like Ty, who's a great late model driver, it looked like he was probably a half a second slower than what Tony was running. So I'm sure you'd see a lot of cautions. There'll be some strategy. I'm sure the racetrack will probably get pretty slick. There'll be nothing like you saw in that YouTube clip for the people that go to Eldora on a regular basis. It's not very often that you get to see mud at that place, so it'll be interesting to see what the track conditions are going to be like.
Well, JJ, what I heard was that they're not going to do a whole lot of changing on the trucks for the race, except dropping the splitter off and maybe doing some doing some right side, building up the right side of the trucks a little bit because they're expecting a lot of wall damage. But that's what I've heard. They're not going to do a whole lot of changing with the trucks because they don't want to go into that expense.
Sure. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of damage, and it'll be more than just right side that's going to happen during that race. But, it's definitely a very cool thing to see. And that Tony pulled off. Obviously it's always been, kind of a joke that, you need to get it back on dirt, and the fact that they were able to do it, and then they're going to come do it at his racetrack, it's going to be fun. And it'll be way more exciting that, I know ARCA still goes and runs the Springfield Mile, and they also still run the Bitcoin Mile. But, the racing is, probably not, you're not going to see side-by-side racing at those events, and they're usually really rubber down, and, they're more fall the leader than they are anything else.
Well, I heard Scott Bloomquist has got him a truck, and he's going up there too, so you know that they're going to have some dirt ringers up there.
Oh, absolutely. You know that there's going to be some. And, because of the way it falls on the race weekend, I think at the same time as we're in Indy, if I'm correct. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
I believe so. Isn't it, Raj?
It's only a 2-hour drive, so I know it's probably only a 20-minute helicopter ride. So there's going to be plenty enough guys hopping in the helicopter to shoot over there and give it a shot.
That sounds good.
JJ, what Cup teams have you drove for since you've been driving in Cup?
I started out my career with Joe Gibbs Racing. I spent 4 years there. Went to Hall of Fame Racing with them for about a year, and then we parted ways and they actually shut down right afterwards. And then, so in 2009, I actually was in a sprint car accident that I injured my neck in, so I had to have 2 vertebrae fused, and that kind of took me out of commission for 6 to 8 months, and that kind of put a hurt on everything. But I've driven for I joined Dusty Whitney's team about 4 years ago. Been jumped around with the front row for a while. Last year, Robinson Blakeney Racing before I moved on to try to get out of the category of a start and park driver, and now I'm currently back with Tommy Baldwin Racing. I ran for him a couple years ago, and that looks to be what we're shooting for as far as moving forward into 2013. They're getting cars built and ready. I know they're trying to get a car together for the Daytona test coming up here pretty quick with Dave. While I'll be in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the Chili Bowl next week.
Good deal.
Yeah, that sounds great.
JJ, I got a quick question for you. Do you get more goosebumps going through Indy for an IndyCar race or a NASCAR race down there?
It's amazing. You think about the Indy cars, and like when we ran there, I think the pole speed was like 223. I qualified 219. Mm-hmm. In those cars, at that speed, you really can't even tell how fast you're going. I mean, obviously until something bad happens, but the fans really make the Indianapolis 500 such a special event. I know that when I ran there, obviously it was a long time ago, it was still a sellout crowd. It was still about 3 weeks long as far as from rookie orientation to the actual 500. Mm-hmm. The amount of people that went through the Speedway and the fans that came through it were awesome. Obviously, the NASCAR races, still a packed house, but it's just a different atmosphere. They don't do quite as much to let the fans in. Of course, we're only there for 3 days too. So, as far as just kind of making the little hairs in the back of your neck stand up, doing the Indianapolis 500, we'll make that happen when you walk out on the front straightaway before they start that race.
Hey, JJ, quick question for you. Which vertebrae were at 5th and 6th?
They were my 4th and 5th.
Okay. It must be a pretty bad area because I actually have my bones fused in my neck, my 5th and 6th vertebrae.
Yeah, it was. And actually, when it happened, it wasn't very painful to me. I was unconscious just for a short amount of time, and the most painful thing I went through was trying to the nurse trying to give me the IVs as I was transferring from one ambulance to the other. But it was a really simple procedure. I went in here in Charlotte. I think I went in at 7 o'clock in the morning. They went through the front of my neck, which was kind of odd. But by noon, I was fused together, sewed up or glued together, and back on the way home. And I haven't had any problems since. And they tell me that I'm stronger now than I was before the accident. So.
Yeah, totally familiar with all of that. Actually, the reason they go through the front is because the back of your spine has more bone protection, and it's harder to work around than it is to work around from the front.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that big a deal. Going through everything. The only thing that worries you is when you have to read the disclaimer list before they take you there and they knock you out. When they tell you, you can come out and you could actually, voice could be real squeaky, or I figured I was going to come out and sound like Minnie Mouse or something. But everything went back together like it was before it all started.
That's good. Congratulations on that recovery, because stuff like that it's hard to get through.
It is, and of all the years I've been racing, when I started racing professionally at the age of 14, I had been in an accident, I think in 2000, where I flipped pretty bad and cracked a bone in my arm, and that was up until the accident from my neck. That had been the worst injury I'd ever sustained in any kind of race car. So I've been pretty lucky as far as that's concerned.
Well, I'll tell you what, at least when you had yours, you had it with a lot more newer technology than I had to deal with. Mine was back in the late 80s.
And I'm definitely thankful that I was able to see good doctors, and Dr. Petty, which I think he's actually getting ready to retire, but he's done a great job of taking care of a lot of NASCAR and IndyCar drivers over the years. He got me directed to a great doctor, and got me taken care of in a pretty quick manner.
That's all it takes, is make sure you got good help on that stuff.
For 2013, this coming year, are you set with Baldwin to run the full season?
That's the plan. We've got some releases that are going to come out here shortly, so obviously I can't give too much information, but we do have sponsors in place, and everything is looking very, very good moving forward into 2013. And that's obviously the biggest struggle for any of these teams anymore is trying to find the backing it takes to go out there and run the entire season. And last year I've been bouncing around where I've been able to run some races, but not get to run all of them. So it's going to be a nice change to get back to where you're going out there and giving your all for the entire race every week. And obviously the physical conditioning has to be a little bit better. And a lot of people don't realize that having to be a NASCAR driver, you definitely have to be an athlete to go out there and perform at the level that we do for 3.5 to 4.5 hours. It's definitely very vigorous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we promise that we won't tell anyone, by the way.
Tell anyone
about what some of your deals you got going. We won't tell anybody, honest. We won't.
Yeah, Raj wanted to make sure that I put that in there. That we promise we won't tell anybody. That never happened. In fact, the show's live. Just throw that out.
Have you drove the new cars any this year so far?
No, I have not. I have not been able to drive any of the. I guess they call them the Gen 6. I know based on the test that they had a couple of weeks ago in Charlotte. Obviously the cars were very, very fast. They were. I think NASCAR is still trying to iron out some of the changes that they want to make with the car moving forward, but. Listening to the input of all the drivers, everyone was definitely happy with the way the cars drove, and I think they got another test coming up pretty quick here at Charlotte again. So it's going to be interesting to see what when NASCAR comes up with for their final rule selection. But so far, there's been a lot of great reviews with the new car over the COT car, over the last couple 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a lot better looking.
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
There's nothing better than going out and seeing a truly cool-looking race car when you have to jump in and go out there and battle 42 other guys.
Yeah, you tell me about it.
I know you had that Tommy had a car in the wind tunnel either yesterday or, well, I guess it was today. Yesterday being New Year. Have you heard anything about how all that worked out? How good it was in the wind tunnel as far as drag and everything?
Well, look at you all simple. You got all this inside information.
Yeah, Yeah, he's our inside guy. This is how we find everything else. So this guy right here. Just give him a call and he lets us know all the inside stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to follow you on Twitter so I can keep up with all the little things, all the ins and outs of what's going on in the NASCAR. But, yeah, that's it for me. I can't give you that. Anyway.
You're giving too much
I
away.
was just wondering if it was good or was there more that needed to be done.
It was the best of the year. How about that?
Okay, fine. That's good enough for me. I like it.
We'll leave it at that, huh?
You're giving too much away. Gosh.
So, JJ, hometown's Phoenix, Arizona?
Yeah, hometown Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's not, you know, for me, growing up as a young racer, I spent a majority of my career racing in California. You know, the sprint cars when I started racing were all Southern California, so I spent a majority of my life driving across the nasty desert from Phoenix to Southern California and even Central California. So, you know, I definitely had earned my miles before I was probably 18 years old. So, you know, it was a typical trip for me. Was the short trips were 5 hours, the long ones were 14 hours. So I missed a lot of school as a high school student, traveling back and forth.
Oh, wow. That's cool that that's in Phoenix, because I'm going to be heading there this summer for some mission work, so that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great town, and you know, my parents still live there, so I have my family there. You know, PIR, it's changed so dramatically over the past 2 years since they reconfigured the racetrack. But you know, I remember as a kid back in the late '80s or early '90s going out there, and you know, there was cactus and desert inside the infield, and you know, drive around on our bicycles racing as race car racing. And I'll say now, as a grown-up and as a professional race car driver, getting to go there and compete is a lot of fun. So, the hometown track always get a great welcome from all the fans. So, I love going there. Glad that we have two NASCAR races there every year.
You ever get any of them devil dogs from Bashes?
Do I ever get any what?
Devil dogs. The pastry out there at Bashes.
What?
You ever heard of them?
My problem is, you know, being from Phoenix, I love Mexican food, so...
Now, what about that hot dog place?
You know, it changes dramatically, so usually when me and my family are there, it's Mexican food or In-N-Out, or our two meals for the 4 or 5 days that we're there, so... You know, you got to get so sick of it, though, when you go back that you don't crave it. But, you know, we definitely fill up on that while we're there.
Now, the In-N-Out place, is that the hot dog place we always hear everybody talking about?
No, we don't have hot dogs in
That's
there.
In-N-Out
burgers.
Oh, okay.
You're off, Rod. You're way off.
I knew it was In-N-Out, something.
Hey, that's the place to go when you're in California and in Phoenix. The
Yeah, I hear that.
All right, I'm going to write that down.
Al Pierce tells me about that all the time.
I think Wiener Schnitzels is the place. That's the hot dog stand. if you're into hot dogs, which that's your prerogative, but yeah, you're never one of those places.
So you make sure you eat after your race?
Hey, somebody had a question for you earlier. You said something about going to the Chili Bowl. Is that going to be your own car, or are you driving for somebody else?
I'm driving my own car. You know, I've run for a handful of different owners for that race, but this is I think this is the 27th year of the Chili Bowl. I've competed in, I think, maybe 18 or 19 of them, and I've been to all but 2 since I was a kid. So, yeah, I'll be taking my own car. I have TRD has given me an engine to use. It's a bad piece. It's got a lot of power. American Eagle Racing, Oswego Speedway, we got some great sponsors come on board. So, I mean, that, you know, you talk to any fan that gets to go see a lot of different racing, that's probably one of the top 3 most popular races of any racing in the United States. It's a week-long event. When you walk in that building, it's like going to Las Vegas. It's the same at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning when we leave after the races, and it's, you know, I think it's a party with a race going on is usually what you see what happens there. But you know, nonetheless, it could be freezing outside, but in that building it's always about 60, 65 degrees, and everyone's had a lot of fun.
Good deal.
All right, wow.
Now, we're going to have to keep you back on the show again, because you're a good person to have on here, JJ.
Yep.
Well, thank you. Well, next time next time I'll make sure that I clear my schedule. I apologize for being a couple minutes late, but
hey,
maybe,
It's okay.
we've had times we'll have somebody call in, and then somebody else decides to call in to surprise the person that called in, and then before we know it, all the phone lines are busy, and I've got people texting me bitching because they can't get on the phones.
well, maybe I'll come back on a show whenever we're ready to announce all these great sponsors we got coming off for 2013.
That sounds good.
That sounds great.
And later on, when we get on the radio show, you can text me all my the numbers from the wind tunnel to me, so I can.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be down there in a couple of days. It won't be long. I'll let you know.
Nah. See, he knows everything. Lord.
And my son works for Michael Waltrip, so
He also has more information.
so I get
Goodness.
I get a little scoop every now and then.
A little? You mean like big?
How do my
Everything?
numbers compare to Clint Boyer's car then? Well, again?
I haven't heard how Clint's went through there yet.
Oh, one thing he doesn't know.
All right. Well,
Matter of fact,
if you're sharing my information, you got to share it all.
well, I'll share it all when I get it, but I don't even think they didn't even have a car for the Charlotte test, in the first Charlotte test, and they're just now getting a car ready for the Daytona test.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a struggle for a lot of the teams and getting parts. And I think you had a lot of teams, especially the smaller teams, trying to hold off on doing too much just for the fact of not really knowing exactly where NASCAR was going to go with the rules. Because you go out there and buy a specific number of rear ends or a different part for the car that at some point before the season starts, NASCAR say, well, we're going to go a different direction. We're not going to allow that one. And, all of a sudden you wasted time and money and effort on something that you can't use for 2013. So, I think the biggest thing is once NASCAR gets everything figured out, it's going to get these teams moving a little bit quicker. And, normally on a situation like this when you have a new car, you got all these teams trying to prepare. Just not enough.
Well, don't forget to thank your sponsors before you leave now.
What happened last year with the fuel injection, and obviously it's going to happen again with the new car. So, again, everyone survived, and we're ready for Daytona to put on a great race.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I like the way the cars look and everything. They were really good in the Charlotte test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. Except they're definitely cool race cars, and with the shape of the cars, it's going to it should eliminate the two-car tandem drafts going into the speedway races. So. I think it's going to make it exciting and get it back to where you're going to have 3 and 4 wide racing and usual segment of speedway racing.
They will be Chevys for Tommy Baldwin this year, right?
That's correct.
And you're still getting your motors from Richard Childress?
We for the speedway races, yes, we'll be using the ECRs, and then Tommy has his other engines for the rest.
Oh, okay.
Just keep it on top of everything.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good. You got it all under control.
We're still trying to get you to accidentally throw something out there. You never know. But we promise not to tell anybody.
Raj, give it away! Gee, that was gonna be lots of fun. Now we can't do anything. Gee.
Oh, quit your whining.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, JJ, it was really nice having you on. You got any sponsors you want to thank here at the end?
Third time's charm.
All right, sure. They got. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but nice try.
I had a note for everybody here to try it anyway. Hey, got a question before you do go. What and I don't think we actually had a chance to ask you, what do your parents think about when you got into all this?
Well, my dad raced. I mean, my dad got me started. I went to my first race, and I was 3 weeks old. So, I mean, it's been a part of my life since I was born into this world. But, my dad raced for many years. I started racing quarterback just to go-kart when I was about 9. And, my mom was actually the president of the association when I started racing midgets in Arizona. So it's been a family-grown deal, and I raced for my family for a long, long time before I moved up through the ranks. So, I mean, they're used to it. It's just kind of part of life. Racing life, a little bit different, but.
Not much of fun.
All right. Well, we're going to shut down the show. Let you go ahead and, I presume, go back to either having dessert or.
they threw me out of the restaurant because I was making too much noise. So.
Hey, let me tell you who else had that problem. Kenny Wallace. You know, talking about getting in late. He forgot to call us one night, and about 5 minutes to 10 minutes later, he finally called, and he totally blew his mind. He was sitting there eating Chinese food at the restaurant and had to go outside because he was too loud in there too. But you know how Kenny gets.
Oh yeah, I was surprised that someone walking outside walked in and telling him to go move too, but great bunch of people.
All right. Well, welcome to the new year, and we hope everything goes good for you.
I appreciate it very much. I'll keep in touch with you.
All right. Have a good one, JJ.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
How does the speakerphone work? I got it. Yay.
Who said you can't train blondes?
Whoa. This is not blonde for information.
Oh, that's right. Blonde wannabe. I forgot.
Excuse me. I'm not. You're mean, Rod. You're mean.
No.